Lighting is one of the key ingredients to creating successful photographs. It not only determines the brightness and darkness of your images, but it also sets the overall mood and tone. Most of us start photographing using natural light like the sun, or ambient light, which is the available light in the room, which provides the highlights and shadows and tone that make up our images. But with natural and ambient light, you have little control over the quality, quantity, and placement of the light and shadows. Monolights like the Unplugged TTL 400 and TTL 600 from ProMaster give you the power and control that you need to craft the type of images that you're looking for. In this video, we'll show you how to use ProMaster Unplugged monolights in a studio setting for product photography. Our first example utilizes one ProMaster TTL 600 monolight. With it, we'll light and capture a simple tabletop photograph of this pair of sneakers. One of the advantages of a monolight over speedlights, or continuous light, is that it's much easier to shape the light due to the large selection of commercially available light shaping tools. We'll explore light modifiers a bit more in our next video. For this photo, let's take a large rectangular softbox and put it on our monolight. This will give us a larger, softer light source. Next, we'll place the light to the left-hand side of the camera and subject. ProMaster Unplugged monolights have a daylight balanced dimmable LED modeling lamp. These LED lamps last forever and don't put as much burden on the battery. I can turn on a modeling lamp right from the transmitter, and when I do, I can see exactly where my light is going to fall and adjust the light placement as needed. In this instance, we want to make sure that the majority of the light is falling on the shoes, not on the table. Now let's add a second light to our setup by placing another Unplugged TTL 600 monolight onto a boom light stand. For a light modifier, we'll use an included 7-inch reflector and pop-on diffuser, which does a nice job at softening the light, but narrows and directs the light more than the softbox does. Using the LED modeling lamp, I can see where the light is going to fall and adjust it so it's over the top of the shoes, not on the table. By placing it here, I can fill in some of the shadows and bring up the exposure. Now let's add a third light. We'll place another Unplugged TTL 600 monolight on a light stand and place it just behind where I'm standing by the camera. We'll use the included 7-inch reflector and pop-on diffuser again because we want a soft and targeted light. Using the LED modeling lamp, I can see where the light is going to fall and adjust it so it's pointed directly at the front of the shoes. This helps me to further shape the light and get better contrast out of my subject. Now let's try something different. Let's add black seamless paper and a sheet of black plexiglass to our studio setup. This will create a completely different look and feel to our product shot. On a TTL monolight, the power of the light emitted is directly controlled by the camera's metering system. The Unplugged TTL transmitter is what allows my camera to communicate with the monolight. The camera's meter will read the scene and determine how brightly the monolight needs to flash. TTL frees you from having to manually meter the scene and adjust the camera and monolight settings manually. If I want to adjust the brightness of the light, I can do so right from the transmitter, up or down in 1/3 stop increments, as much as plus or minus 3 stops. This is called the flash exposure compensation. TTL gives you fast, reliable automatic results. Flash exposure compensation allows you to brighten or darken the photo based on your photographic vision. Let's turn our overhead fill light back on, but this time we'll adjust the light using flash exposure compensation. The Unplugged TTL transmitter and TTL monolights offer 3 groups. You can leave all your lights in Group A, but by assigning this light to Group B, I'm able to control this light independently of our key light right from the transmitter. Using the monolight controls, let's set the group to Group B. This will allow us to control the flash exposure compensation of the key light and hair light independent of each other, right from the transmitter. Not only can I adjust the 2 groups to balance the exposure and set the tone of the photo, I can also turn a group off entirely if I don't want to use it in the shot. Additionally, I can leave TTL mode and take of monolight into manual mode, so I have total control of the light's output over a 7-stop range. Let's add our third light back into the mix. We'll set this light to Group C so I can adjust its power independently of our key light and fill light right from the transmitter. By using flash exposure compensation, I can adjust the power of our 3 lights for different looks and feels. The distance of our light source from our subject is also important. This affects the hardness and softness of the light. Just by moving the third light further away from the shoes on the plexiglass, the light becomes more intense and the shadows more defined. This is called hard light. When I move the light closer to the shoes, the light is less intense, creating softer shadows. This is called soft light. ProMaster Unplugged monolights offer wireless freedom at an affordable price. With them, you can take fast, powerful, intuitive, controllable light with you wherever you go. Backed with our 1-year unconditional warranty and US-based support, there's a ProMaster Unplugged light for every photographer. In our next video, we'll show you how to use Unplugged for an in-studio portrait session. That's all for now. We'll see you next time.